The governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, appeared on CNN with Caitlin Collins for the debut of her new show, The Source, I think it's called. And a moment was interesting to me I want to show you on the subject of Trump's indictment. And watching Republicans try to deal with, and we've covered a lot of clips like this, but it's always interesting to me for some reason, try to deal with this subject when the evidence against Trump, it's just so damning. And the audio recording now that we have, brutal. How you can still perpetuate the talking points that they choose to perpetuate and not feel humiliated, I don't know. But that's what Glenn Youngkin does here. Take a look.
So even if that candidate is Donald Trump, when he was indicted recently in the documents investigation, you posted a tweet saying that the charges were unprecedented. You called it a sad day for the country, and you referred to a two-tier justice system. But now that you've seen the indictment, we've heard Trump in his own words in that audio tape, do you still not think that he should be held accountable for what is being alleged in that indictment?
Well, let me back up and just be clear that what we've seen happen to the former president is inconsistent with what we've seen happen in other circumstances with elected officials.
Like which ones?
And I think this is what folks are concerned.
Right, like which ones?
Concerned about. There's plenty of allegations against the current Biden White House and things that have gone on there. And in Virginia, one of the things that we saw.
Then he'll get to the most just ridiculous point here. But just saying we've seen many allegations against the current Biden White House means nothing when you don't back that up with the level of evidence compared, right? Yeah, sure, I can make any allegation against anyone. That doesn't mean it's as substantive and as it doesn't hold as much weight as an allegation that actually has a significant amount of evidence with it, like Trump's.
And in Virginia, one of the things that we saw was that parents standing up at school board meetings and demanding transparency and accountability in their children's education was met by the Justice Department of the United States with accusations of being terrorists that was alleged by one of the teachers' unions. I mean, this is the inconsistency that Virginians and I believe Americans see, and it's something that undermines people's trust in the system.
So that point is ludicrous, and we've talked about it in the past, of parents were going to their school board meetings and just sharing their views, and then the DOJ labeled them as domestic terrorists. Oh my God. It didn't happen. What happened was people making violent threats toward school board members, public officials. Those people were labeled as potential threats. And I guess the term maybe used was potential terrorists. If they were to, for a political purpose, violently threaten or violently act against public officials. Yeah, I want our law enforcement agencies to be concerned with that. And then that's twisted into, there was just a sweet mother standing in front of her school board. She got ripped out and taken to the clink. Why? Why do we have to deal with it? Sometimes I think about this and tears start gushing down my face. Imagine the conversations, the riveting, substantive, interesting, meaningful, purposeful conversations we could have if we weren't wasting so much time talking about talking points, narratives that are very relevant, very important because we have to debunk them so people don't fall into believing them, but completely not all those terms I just listed. They're completely detached from any real policy discussion or any real fondness of facts or loyalty to the truth. All that garbage can is just say whatever you want to say. Now we're saying that, you see, Trump shouldn't be indicted for his willful retention of national defense information after multiple requests from federal authorities, and after he allegedly lied to federal authorities, and after he conspired with other staffers to move around the documents to keep them out of the hands of federal authorities, and obstructing the investigation of federal authorities, and talking on tape about how this document was still classified and he didn't declassify it while he was still president. He can't now, but he's showing it around to people and he still has it in his possession. All that Trump shouldn't be held accountable for, because individuals making violent threats against public officials were a concern of law enforcement. Or because, hey, James Comer has been accusing Biden of stuff without providing evidence. So if Biden's not going to be indicted for that, then why are you indicting Trump for this? I don't know about that, Glenn.